Buckle up, my friends. There are some crazy twists and turns within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys that are very, very telling, not only for those secondary market items, but for the items that are on pre-order. Also, I got some new information from the Hot Toys Wizard. Is it possible that some of my waitlist alerts have changed? You have to wonder. Let's dive into it, baby. Right now. All right, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show right here at 6 Scale Cantina. So I absolutely cannot wait to dive into this episode with you. I've got my coffee in hand in the regular cup, and I've got my coffee in one of these cups that keep it warm so I can keep going during this market chart show. Even though it's pre-recorded, I like to just do it like it's live. And let me tell you, there's a lot of interesting stuff right now within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys. Let's dive right into it. So, as we do with every market chart show, let's go to 6scalecantina.com. And if you don't have 6scalecantina.com bookmarked, you may want to consider doing so. Not only does it give you all the secondary market news for Star Wars Hot Toys, trends up, trends down, and prices. It also gives you all the latest news at what's going on at 6 Scale Cantina, including if there's going to be an upcoming live stream. And it also gives you all the news of everything Star Wars Hot Toys, like you could see here. If there is a brand new figure released or announced, you'll get it in the breaking news section here, just like this Lando Calrissian and this Shoretrooper squad leader that was just officially released last week, which I'm still rocking and reeling over. Wow. Let's get to the biggest movers section, though, and take a look at that. Very, very interesting. And as I scroll about it, you can see here, wow, these are very, very interesting things. You got figures trending down, figures trending up, figures trending down, figures trending up. And you could see right there the Luke Stormtrooper and the Han Stormtrooper are on fire right now within the secondary market. And quite frankly, they actually have been for months. It's just been one of those things where a slow collection of data to show exactly where these are in comparison to the regular A New Hope versions of both Luke and Han. Now, of course, the Luke version of A New Hope, both of those have the same head sculpt, but the Han is a different one. But no matter which Han you're talking about, whether it's Han A New Hope or Han from here with the grin, the Stormtrooper version, they're both highly sought after within the secondary market. And really, when you sort out everything Han Solo Stormtrooper, good luck trying to find anything for under $900 on eBay for that particular figure. And when it does come up on an auction, you're lucky if you're able to get it around $500. And it's been continual. And more times than not, higher than that. And is that also happening with the Luke Stormtrooper? It's really starting to happen now. I'm pulling this up onto the screen, just a Han Stormtrooper. And just back from the end of September, $502, 34 bids, not including the $20 in shipping, almost 11,000 feedback, 100% on this seller. And if you're wondering how the Luke Stormtrooper is, I mean, it just continually sells in these high astronomical prices. You can see back from September 9th, $545 You have Han Solos selling for $700 within the secondary market. Absolutely crazy. Forget about everything overseas, how much these go for. And really, when you look at the non-Stormtrooper versions, even when you pull up this Luke, a farm boy version, and it's somewhere around $415 and steady within the secondary market, which means that sometimes it sells, around $350 and above, and sometimes it sells around $400 and $450 and above, and averages around $415. And right now, maintaining that average, you could look just from October 4th, just a few days before this recording, $391 with 18 bits on another outstanding seller with 4,666 feedback. Wow. And these particular figures continue to just be on fire. Luke, A New Hope, Luke, Stormtrooper, whichever one, on fire. Han Solo, A New Hope, whether it's the Stormtrooper version I was just showing you here, or this particular version up on the screen, they're all just selling. And certainly there's a lot of chatter that the one on the Stormtrooper, or there had been a lot of chatter that the one with the Stormtrooper, that head sculpt with the grin is better than this one. But regardless, whichever one you think is better or not better, they're both fetching a high demand right now within the secondary market. And the same thing with this with this figure. If I can get this one to show up on the screen, here you go. This Luke's from A New Hope, which is basically the same head sculpt as what's on the Stormtrooper outfit. Are these at the level of what Hot Toys have been doing the last few years? No. But for me, I think this is one of my favorite figures. And certainly for me, in my opinion anyway, as far as a farm boy Luke, within the secondary, for a commercial 6-scale figure, you're not going to get any better than this. And the same thing here with this particular figure. I actually think that this is outstanding. And I have both this figure and the Stormtrooper version of Han Solo, and I think they're both equally as good. I just think it's whatever floats your boat. But putting all that aside, you have to wonder: are collectors starting to maybe get concerned or catch wind that it's difficult to get a Hot Toys Han Solo with Harrison Ford's likeness out in the market? And I say yes. I think that's part of what's happening here. It's not necessarily a slam dunk that you're going to get this particular Han Solo reissued or a new version out again. And it's not necessarily a slam dunk that you're going to get this particular figure, the Farm Boy Luke, reissued anytime soon as a priority. Or this particular figure here with Harrison Ford and this likeness. So, I think that some collectors are catching wind on this particular figure and are perhaps getting it while you can. Because you have to wonder, if they don't come out with another Harrison Ford Hot Toy anytime soon, and let's say anytime over the next 36 months, the next few years, there's no official announcement for anything Han Solo from the original trilogy, is it possible that both this Stormtrooper version of Han and the regular Han Solo that I was just showing you before, this one right here, going to hit astronomically high prices, like $700, $800 tier ranges? And we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But as Hot Toys continues to get more popular, and as Star Wars continues to get more popular, And as Favreau and Filoni continue to hit things out of the park, you kind of have to wonder what the demand is going to be, especially for collectors that are really getting into this now, and even collectors that have been in this for a while that tired of waiting for a Han, and certainly new collectors that are coming in that want Harrison Ford. You have to wonder what the ceiling is on these particular figures. Forget about the Han and Chewbacca 2-pack. Wow. It's very, very interesting. I still have a gut feeling, personally, that another 2-pack of Han Solo and Chewbacca is forthcoming. And I really think before the Bespin Han that you're going to get an Endor Han. Because you certainly got the Endor Luke Skywalker, deluxe, non-deluxe. You certainly got the Endor Leia. You got the Endor Wicket. You got the Endor Scout Trooper bike. I think one of the pieces that are missing is the Endor Han Solo, certainly Chewbacca. And I know we still got to get the Bespin Han to go with the Bespin Leia and the Bespin Lando. But it's actually an easier transition. The Return of the Jedi Han Solo is very close to the A New Hope Han Solo as far as the outfit and everything else. Is it possible that that's the one that they put out if they're going to put one out again? And I'm not sure. But we're going to have to keep an eye on it. But I'm not convinced that we're going to get any A New Hope Han Solo. Certainly you got the forthcoming 50th anniversary of Star Wars. And depending on how long these licenses are from where, Harrison Ford approved it and how often they can reissue these figures, maybe that's what's going to happen. Who knows? But at the end of the day, it's hard enough getting Harrison to sign off on one figure, let alone a Bespin version, an Endor version, or a new version of these A New Hope ones, or alternate versions with new head sculpts of this. So I think that that's part of what you're seeing here. That's going to lead me into the two figures that you really want me to speak to here today, as the Luke Stormtrooper and the Han Stormtrooper continue to skyrocket within the secondary market and fetch high demand. And look at Darkside Anakin, and look at Anakin from Revenge of the Sith. And you have to wonder, what's going on with these figures that were really trending up to outrageous, astronomical secondary market prices? Let's get into some stuff first. Let's actually see exactly where these have trended down to within the market value chart at 6scalecantina.com. So, let's go ahead and sort this out highest to lowest in the current value column. And you just got to click that arrow within the current value column a couple of times so you get the highest ranked figures to the lowest ranked figures, so it's easier to navigate. And you can see right here, now Darkside Anakin has left the $800 tier range and left the $700 tier range and is now $652 and trending down. It is getting right now a little bit back down to earth. Now, if you consider the $600 tier range for one figure down to earth at all, still very, very high. And let me actually go to the regular Anakin, which has left the $600 tier range and has gone down here now to $510 and trending down. Wow. Let's see some data before we dive into why this is happening. And the interesting thing here is, and I'm going to get this right off right now, get right off my chest right now, it's not because there's more figures that are coming out that necessarily those figures are trending down, because you got Luke and Han Stormtrooper that are going through the roof and other figures that are going through the roof. But there's an interesting aspect here. Let's go to some data. Let's look at some Darkside Anakins recently. So pulling this up onto the screen, you can see right here, just basically recently, this was at the end of September, $700 best offer accepted, probably around $675 for this particular seller for that particular figure. Let's go to some more Darkside Anakins. You can see right here, back from September 3rd, $560 with only 4 bids, not including the $25 in shipping, not including taxes. Okay, almost 1,500 feedback, 100% positive. Nothing wrong with this figure. Nothing defective. Let's go to more. Darkside Anakin. Bring it down over here from more the middle of September. $610 with 9 bids, 100% positive feedback, not including the 15 in shipping, not including taxes. Interesting. Let's go to more Darkside Anakin. You can look at this one here, back from August 22nd. 100% positive feedback, almost 200, $610. Again, not including shipping, not including taxes. Let's go to more. See, I'm throwing a lot at you here. Let's go to regular Anakin. And you can look back from September 22nd. Regular Anakin, $459 at 14 bids. Almost 200 feedback, not including the shipping, not including the taxes. Okay, let's go to another one. Regular Anakin. Back from September 28th, $455. Almost, well, right over 175 feedback. $455, free shipping, not including taxes. And I can go on and on and on with data here for regular Anakin and Darkside Anakin. And the thing of it is with these figures, this was showing some signs. It steadied off. And obviously when a figure is so much trending up and you have so much data, you have to collect a lot of data to see if there's really the ripple in the water is really a downtrend. And really, I can tell you with confidence, these figures are trending down at the time being. And, you know, just pulling this up onto the screen, you know, and I have here the Darkside Anakin. This is perhaps the highlight of my Hot Toys collection. I absolutely love and adore this particular figure. You know, this figure is let me just put it, it's one of my favorites, if not my favorite Hot Toys. A tremendous head sculpt. It's Darth Vader, and this one is not trending down nearly as much as the regular Anakin Skywalker. It's almost a $200 swing difference. And really what's happening with this figure right now is you're not seeing it sell so much now in the 800, especially 900 and 1,000 range. You're seeing it more often than not selling in the 700s and more often than not in the 600s, which is what pushed that down. It's still selling in the 700s, but it's more often right now selling in the 600s all in, or 700, which is why you've had that trend down. Is it showing signs of going down to 500 or 400? No, I don't see that with this figure, but I am seeing it where the range is right now. But what about the regular Anakin? The regular Anakin has dipped also from the $600 tier range to, you know, within the $400 tier range. very interestingly right now, it is close to where it's just over Dooku, okay, and close to where Krennic is, right around that area. And is it possible that that looming Clone Wars Anakin is perhaps in the back of some collectors' minds? I did see the non-stap version start trending up best-selling wise on Sideshow. It's not as far bottom. It has come up. And I think people are anticipating that figure coming out. And may I suggest that that Anakin figure, and while I'm talking here, I'm going to try and pull that up, onto the screen. But is it possible that that figure for many collectors is going to be a way to get Anakin within your prequels collection, even if you're not doing anything Clone Wars? And even though this does have a Clone Wars outfit, it does have the same head sculpt. And while the hair isn't exactly the same, it's still, you could pretty much be like, okay, well, he had a haircut a couple of months before, the Revenge of the Sith, where that started. It's kind of like, you get a haircut, then you wake up the next morning, you look different, when you go to work. So, it's really not that much of a difference, but on a different outfit. You could kind of look at it that way, but seeing if I can pull this up over here for you. And it has gone up. It has gone up. And I think I have it up now. And let me see if I can pull this up onto the screen. This is a really sharp looking figure. You can just look at that right here. It looks absolutely outstanding. And I think it is possible that some collectors, including myself, are going to use this to fill in the void for their Anakin within their prequels collection, because that figure is just so high. And perhaps some collectors are just like, you know what, I'm not going to be spending $600, $700, which is really where the regular Anakin was sitting for a long time. And now you're starting to see it more often than not, selling in the mid 400s, high 400s, and 500s a lot of times for this figure, but not so high up. However, is it possible that this figure also fills in the void for the Darkside Anakin? And I say no. The Darkside Anakin is a little bit different. And really, going back to that here onto the screen, this is, not even for all intents and purposes, this is, as a fact, Darth Vader. It was Darth Vader that wreaked the havoc and did what he did within the temple and with the younglings and with all the Jedi. It was Darth Vader here that went to Mustafar and did in all those politicians and all the delegates and Viceroy Gunray and all that. That wasn't Anakin anymore. That was Darth Vader. Just because, he didn't get the scars yet and get burnt up and put on it wasn't the outfit, the Darth Vader mask and everything that made him Darth Vader. It was this choice when he had to choose between what Master Windu wanted to do and what the Emperor wanted to do, that he made his choice of becoming Darth Vader. That was when he did it. And that's what this figure is. Now, is this having some effect on it? Yes. I think it's having some effect on it. Will it continue to have some effect on it? We'll have to see. Because it's a different version. This is a different version. Then this is a different version. And it's also a different version from the Revenge of the Sith Anakin. But I think at the end of the day, even if you pick this up, it's still going to be ringing in your ears as years pass by. Oh, I don't have Darth Vader. I don't have this look at Darth Vader. So you have to wonder, is it possible that this figure will go back into the $800 tier range? And I say yes, it will, unless they reissue it, or they come out with a different version of it, which they very well may do. But that's what's going on here with this figure. And the other interesting thing I want to point out about this particular figure, make no mistake, the analogy that I have been laying out for you is the same analogy that's going on with the 2-pack of Boba Fett. And as I'm talking to you here, and going to go ahead and try and bring that up onto the screen as well. Because even though I've got this all planned and it's pre-recorded, I'm still kind of doing it like I'm live. So, we get this all kind of, Aries live and raw as much as possible, even when it's pre-recorded. Unless I really stumble over my words and so on and so forth. But let's pull this up on the screen. And I think it's coming up now. And you could see right here that just like the Darkside Anakin, that right now is only available with that exclusive release, the Darkside Anakin. The only way you're going to get this version of Boba Fett, and I'm talking about the one with the robes, is by getting this 2-pack, and it's not available by itself. And as the years roll by, there's going to be some collectors that skip out on this, that are going to be like, I have every Boba Fett. Oh, wait a minute, I don't have every Boba Fett. And that's the dynamic with this set. And believe me, not everybody's going to buy it because the price tag is just so high, $495. However, for 2 figures, that's actually pretty good. It's still, can't all buy 2 figures. But that's going to be the interesting dynamic. I've talked about this for so long, and now this is coming out earlier than expected. I'm expecting this to be officially released in Hong Kong very, very, very soon. I really think it's going to happen sometime within the next, anywhere between the next, 1 to 5 weeks, this is going to be released. They want to start getting it over here. But anyway, it's the same thing. Oh, I got every Darth Vader. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have every Darth Vader. I have every Boba Fett. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have every Boba Fett. Let me say that again. I don't have every Boba Fett. I don't have every Darth Vader. No, this is Anakin. No, my friends. This is Darth Vader. That's what you're looking at. And that's the interesting dynamic with this particular figure. I do think that with the upcoming Obi-Wan series, and with Hayden Christensen signed again, and with how well this figure does in the secondary market, make no mistake, it's trending down. But it's not like trending down to like Finn Stormtrooper. This is mid $600, okay, for right now, okay? This is a great candidate to get reissued. But are they going to reissue this guy with the robes? I don't see it. I don't see it. Not anytime soon, anyway. Rey continues to rise up within that $300 tier range, the low $300 tier range. And that continues to be a slow burn right now, continuing to rise. And so that continues to be a big seller for her to be able to hit on there and come magically right in at the $300 range. It's absolutely crazy. And right now, she's selling in the high 200s. You can still get it, but more often than not, she's selling in the higher 300s. And I think she's right at $300 still, and rising, going up a few cents, trending up. You can go back here. Great seller, Hawk Wars Toys. Almost 1,200 feedback, all 100% positive. This just sold $310 for Rey. You can go back and get an auction here. Let's see if I can come up with another one for Ray. And pulling this up on the screen. Yeah, just back from October 7th, $291, and not including shipping and not including taxes. So averaging right around 300 and trending up. Very, very interesting. But let's go into some of these ones that are trending down. Pulling this up onto the screen. Let's take a look at this figure. And you could see back from October 6th, 36 bids, mind you. Remnant Trooper, $230.50. Another tremendous seller. Darth Thrawn, over 400 feedback, all 100% positive, but only $230.50. Let's see if I can get you some more Remnant. And the Remnant Trooper going back around the same time with 30 bids, $275, not including shipping and not including taxes. We're going to see exactly where that trended down to in a minute. Let's go to some more. How about the Incinerator Trooper? How is the Incinerator Trooper doing? Incinerator Trooper is suffering even more, and it's showing a lot of signs of not moving and trending down. And you can see back from October 5th, $210.50. Another great seller. Wow, over 2,700. 100% positive feedback. Only $210.50 with 20 bids. Not including shipping. Not including taxes. Wow. Very, very interesting. Let's go to the market value chart and see exactly where these figures are. And since we started off with the Remnant Trooper, let's actually type in the Remnant Trooper into the market value chart search box and see exactly what we're looking at here. Remnant. Make sure I type it right. There it is, Remnant Trooper. Don't even have to type it all the way. It comes right up for you. TMS 011. $274. And trending down. Interesting. Let's go to Incinerator. And wow. TMS 012. $227. And trending down. Wow. So, you know, you have to wonder what exactly is going on with some of these troopers. And there is a dynamic going on where you do have some figures that are coming out. And I think that some of these other troopers or some of these other figures within the secondary market are taking a back seat at the moment so that people can go ahead, collectors can go ahead and buy some other figures that are coming really quickly on pre-order. That's one factor. But then again, how do you explain some of the other ones that are trending up? Because aren't they buying those too? I think that also, finally, the Mandalorian season 1, season 2, it finally, it ended last year, and it's been hot ever since. And now you're now it's kind of past, and now you're getting into the Book of Boba Fett, and perhaps the Incinerator Trooper at the moment and the Remnant Trooper at the moment are not exactly the biggest movers right now. Until maybe you get more of that Mandalorian content that comes out. That can be part of it as well. You also have the artillery trooper coming up. You got the Stormtrooper commander coming up. You also got a lot of buzz on the Clone Wars figures right now, and people buying an abundance of 501sts, Coruscant cards. What's hot right at the moment? So I think that those figures are kind of suffering within the secondary market. There'll be ebbs and flows. Is it possible that they'll go ahead and trend up again? And I say, yes, they will. They will. I believe that both of those figures will actually be over $300, especially the Remnant Trooper. I think that's going to be a high one. Just right now, there's several factors that could possibly be contributing to why those troopers are moving that way. Unlike the Stormtrooper of Luke and Han, which are just going crazy. Everything OT is actually going crazy right now, which is going to tell you about that Lando, which is in limited quantities. And oh boy, on that Lando. Oh boy. Let's go to some other ones here I want to show you that are trending down. So how about, excuse me, an update on the Mudtrooper? Well, the Mudtrooper continues to just sink, being honest with you. Same thing with Kylo Ren from The Last Jedi. Let's see if I can pull up both of those. So you can see here, pulling up the Mudtrooper. Let's see here. Back from October 5th, really. 21 bids, too. Only $282. Over 2,700 feedback. Not including shipping. Not including taxes. This figure is trending down. It's just right now, you know, it is a trooper. And it does come with a head sculpt. And it is Han Solo. And eventually this figure is going to go back up. I believe that this figure is going to be a mid-300, possibly around a $400 tier range figure. It's just not right at the moment. So if you're in the market for a Mudtrooper, certainly don't pay, you know, big money for this right now. It's just not going for it right now. I think that now may be the time, if you're looking for one and you've got it and you've wanted one. And this is close to retail. Close to retail right now. It's getting close in there. Just a little bit above it. Very, very interesting indeed. And let's actually go to another figure. And this is actually ongoing. And this one just continues to sink. And I mean sink hard. And pulling this up onto the screen, you could see here with 2 hours, almost just under 3 hours left. Only one bid, $185. But this figure and you know, and I don't use this one with this feedback and data. I'm just showing you that there's just no demand for this figure right now with the Rise of Skywalker one that is out there, and it's just continuing to trend down within the secondary market for sure. Let's go back to the biggest movers section and see what else is showing. Actually, let's go back to the market value chart and see exactly where Kylo and the Mudtrooper are. Let's do that. Let's see the prices. And we'll stick with Kylo. Let me put in Kylo Ren, see what happens here. So Kylo Ren from The Last Jedi has now left the $300 tier range. And is now $290 and trending down. Wow. Let's put in the Mudtrooper, which this figure will go up. 306 and trending down. Like I said, I think now's the time. This ain't going to stay that way. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's not. It's going to rise up. At the end of the day, it's still Han Solo. And at the end of the day, it's a trooper. You put both of those in together, a trooper with a head sculpt. Might not be Tamora Morrison, but it's still a Han Solo. This is going to go up. Just saying. Let's go to the biggest movers section and see what else is going on there. And so you see here, we talked about the troopers of Han and Luke going up, Anakin, both versions going down, Vader going up, Rey going up, Remnant Trooper going down, Incinerator Trooper going down, Mudtrooper going down, Kylo going down, Han Solo regular deluxe going up. You see Leia, The Last Jedi going up. You also have Commander Cody. Forget about Commander Cody. That is about to go to plaid because of the Rex figure. Yeah, and you got Leia Endor going up too. And really, you know, I always pull up so much on Cody. And is it possible that Cody is going to hit and breach the $500 tier range, especially once Rex starts coming in to the United States and Europe? And I say yes. Look, this figure is outstanding. Is outstanding. And I think for not all collectors, but I think for many collectors, it's going to be so hard to keep away from having both Rex and Cody within your collection. And I know there are some collectors that just don't like Cody. You know, he did help execute Order 66. And they just don't like him. But I think at the end of the day, for other collectors, it's going to be hard not to have this figure when you have the Rex figure. And this figure is all you really got to do. All you really got to do is even look at data from the past from other toy companies that aren't even Sideshow. I mean, that aren't even Hot Toys. And Sideshow being one of them. And I can bring this up onto the screen here. And let me go ahead and transition out of this. And so here you go. Here's, with 30 minutes left, $400 with 24 bids and 47 watchers. Now, you got Hell's Toys, 488. What tremendous feedback. All 100%. Wow. And $400 for a Sideshow Commander Ganch. And you can see right here. And no matter any of these figures, Rex, Cody, you name it, they're just money. And don't think for 1 second that this particular figure here is going to come down to a $300 price range. You are out of your mind if you think that that is going to happen. This figure all day long is going to be a $500 tier range figure. And going back to this, we will now go to Sideshow and sorted out everything best-selling wise. Just Star Wars. And as I predicted, what is number one? You will see in a second once this loads, because I got a lot of video going on to show you the video screens as this goes on, so my system is running a little bit slow. There we go. And just as I predicted, and I've told you in my live shows, that eventually you would have Rex be number one. And you have to wonder why it's number one. Because Commander Cody was never number one. And it was never number two. It was never up this high when the final production photos came up. You had the best car Mandalorian and other figures that were still reigning. It was high, but it wasn't high like that. It was high like that Lando is right now. It just wasn't. And you're seeing Captain Rex number one. And those 501st have been number one for more than a couple of hours. They have been there for, gosh, at least over a month already now. With those 501sts. 1 and 2. And rest assured, there may be some collectors that are getting all these 501sts that are going to skip on Rex, but probably the majority are not. But going back, sorting everything out best-selling wise on Sideshow for Star Wars Hot Toys, and showing again that Rex, as I predicted, is number one, I will give you another prediction. That this figure will be on waitlist in short order. Whether it gets in stock or whether it doesn't get in stock is really irrelevant at this point. But I officially give this particular release a red alert. It was on yellow alert, now it is on red alert. You did not have Cody, again, number one in this magnitude, like this figure. And pointing out again, this is not the Mandalorian. There's not a Captain Rex show. Okay? And I brought this up in prior episodes. Everyone knows who Baby Grogu is. Baby Yoda, Grogu, oh, the Mandalorian. You bring up Rex to some people that aren't Star Wars fans. They're like, what, Tyrannosaurus Rex? And look at the demand right now for the collectors that are in this hobby. Don't get duped into the fact that they're going to make as many of these as the best car Mandalorian. It's not in the cards. It's not on the production schedule for that. This is going to be gone in short order. Red alert on this particular figure. And red alert on this Death Watch Mandalorian, which they absolutely are not going to make a whole lot of. You got yellow alerts on these clone troopers. They did make a ton of these. They usually do make a lot of troopers for army building. That's what they do. They didn't do the same thing with this Mandalorian, this Death Watch Mandalorian. They didn't do the same thing with this Rex. I already received word that this Lando Calrissian is a limited run. I don't need to go back to the secondary market and the market value chart to show you what's happening with all the original trilogy figures. And if you think that everybody that's collecting original trilogy figures and spending $400, $500, $600, $700 plus on some of these figures are not going to get Lando for $235, think again. Limited on that. Red alert on Lando. Red alert on Death Watch Mandalorian. Red alert on Captain Rex. Yellow alert on the 501sts. Ahsoka Tan. It's most likely going to be produced. Officially released this week. Let's go to some other ones here to tie in with that. Clone Wars Mall. Either with it or very, very shortly. Same thing with the Stormtrooper Commander. Same thing with Jango Fett. Same thing with this Boba Fett 2-pack. And Boba Fett by itself. Same thing with this Anakin. Same thing with this Artillery Trooper. And I think what's happening here is you're going to see more and more right now with Hot Toys. More limited runs. Without necessarily saying it's limited runs. Because you could put the dots together. And so could they. They're not dummies. They're not stupid. Neither Sideshow. They're not stupid. You come out with this many figures at one time. Not everybody is going to be able to afford all the figures. If I know that, and you know that, those people in the business certainly know that. And if it gets to sell out, and it gets to be high demand within the secondary market, that's good. Because that shows that there is demand for Hot Toys. If there's no demand in the secondary market for Hot Toys, then is it possible that nobody's going to care for something that nobody cares about? It's kind of like one of those old episodes of Xena, Warrior Princess, or Hercules. And I think Ares, God of War, was in one of the shows, or a couple of the gods under Zeus. And they were dying in a way because nobody believed in them anymore. I'm trying to remember this episode. Nobody cared. So they just didn't exist. If there's no secondary market pull for any of these figures, it's not very attractive, is it? Think about that. Nobody likes this show. Nobody likes this movie. Nobody likes this show. Nobody likes this series. Whatever it is, on Amazon, Netflix. No one likes this particular television show. This thing, that thing. No one's going to watch it. It means you're not going to get anyone to advertise with it. Which means it's probably not going to get renewed. Which means that show's probably going to go out of business. That series ain't going to make it. Think about that. Hot Toys doesn't need to be concerned about eBay. The higher they go up on eBay, the better it is for Hot Toys, may I suggest. Is it possible they're going to start producing less of these so that they can put out more? And there could be a higher demand for certain ones of them? And I say yes. You got to change the times. You got to roll with the punches. These are the new times. Coming out of COVID. Inflation everywhere. Oh, what do you mean, Aries? You mean these Hot Toys are going to go up? You betcha. They're going to go up. Because raw materials are going up. Many things are going up. That's just where we are. Nothing stays the same. And nothing's going to stay the same in the way Hot Toys operates in business. Don't think for a minute they're going to make tens of thousands of this Rex and this Death Watch Mandalorian and this Lando and this Ahsoka and this Armor and this Clone Wars Maul and this Stormtrooper Commander and this Boba Fett Deluxe and this Anakin. And this Artillery Trooper and this Shoretrooper and this Tusken Raider. Are you kidding me? It's nowhere near even written in pencil with Hot Toys. Not for those. Yeah, it'll go on eBay. It'll fetch high prices. Will they come out with these figures again? Sure, they can. Just like they did Attack of the Clones Yoda. Just like they did Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader. Just like they did Empire Strikes Back Deluxe Boba Fett. With certain figures they can do that with, they will. They didn't have to make a certain amount when they put out those figures. Did they? They weren't forced to. They weren't like, oh my God, I have to make this amount. They skyrocketed on eBay. Good. Let them skyrocket. People like what they can't have. But the more sought after it is on eBay, they're not competing with eBay. They need eBay. They need demand. They need to show that there's demand. Just like you need people to watch a television series to be able to generate interest, so advertisers and a network will go ahead and re-sign the series. eBay's their friend. Shorter numbers. They'll have these molds. They'll have certain accessories. They could come out with variations. They could come out with reissues. That's what's going to happen here. You're not going to come out with all these figures and you're going to have tens of thousands on each one of them. I already called up Sideshow. And they already confirmed around 4,000 with this Lando. Maybe. How many think of this Death Watch? How many do you think of this Django, which was just as low as Lando? Or that Anakin? Not very many. Not very many at all. How many do you think of that Tusken Raider you think they're going to make? Not very many. How about that Blurg with Quill? Think they're going to make a lot of him? How about Quill? How about Moff Gideon? How much you think you're going to make? How about this Luke? This 40th anniversary Luke. Is it possible that with the 40th anniversary of the Lando coming out, that this one, even though it shows April to June, is going to be something that gets moved up real quick? Keep an eye on it. I can tell you right now, this one will be limited, for sure. What do you mean, Aries? It's Luke. It's going to be in high demand. Oh, yeah, it is. It's going to go right up there to #1, like where Rex is. And then it's going to be gone. Why is it going to be gone, Aries? Because they're not going to have as many of them sitting in stock as this Beskar Mandalorian, which was sitting at #1 for eternity since it came out, and only went down a little tiny bit when the chrome-plated Mandalorian with the head sculpt came out. I remember when this Luke Snowspeeder pilot came out, it didn't even crack the top 11. It was real interesting to me. It didn't. It actually didn't. Lando did better. And this is, besides the Mandalorian Luke, the figure I'm looking forward to the most. Just type Grail City on your notes with this particular figure. All right, wrapping it up. Look, get ready to spill some coffee. Because I'm telling you right now, when you compare what's available for Star Wars and Hot Toys compared to Marvel, Marvel destroys Star Wars. It's more than double. It's insanity. And they're going to be absolutely feeding us with announcement after announcement after announcement with Star Wars Hot Toys, because all of these figures that I'm giving you alerts on, and remember I told you this back in February and March, that you would look at Sideshow best-selling wise, and then when it came to May and June, you'd be like, what am I looking at? It's completely different. I'm going to tell you the same thing now, that where this looks right now, okay, taking a good look, that once January and February hit, it's going to be like, what am I looking at? What are these figures? It's going to look very, very, very different. And you are going to get announcement after announcement after announcement. And probably more so for Star Wars than you are for Marvel and any other line right now, because they have to catch up on Star Wars. And Star Wars has a plethora of content coming up next year on Disney+. And these figures that I mentioned here, they're not going to be in stock in March. They're just not. Yeah, so they're just not. And if they're not going to be in stock, they're going to be on waitlist. Waitlist open, waitlist full. What are they going to have up? They're going to need to have more than what they're going to have there. So you're going to get we're going to be getting a ton of announcements. And I personally just cannot wait to see, certainly all the Sideshow Con stuff and everything that they were showing at New York Comic Con. Those are all coming very quickly. But those aren't the only ones, baby. There's going to be some coffee spillers that are coming out. Don't think that they're going to leave it to eBay for all the OT stuff. There's demand for the OT. There's demand for prequels. There's demand for figures that you have no idea about that they have in the works. Because as new collectors come in and more interest comes in, sure, they can get it in the secondary market or they could get some figures. Remember how they just came out with that Snowspeeder pilot Luke out of nowhere? Remember that last year? Pretty cool, huh? Remember they came out with Lando out of nowhere last year? Pretty cool, huh? Is it possible we're going to get several of those here before the end of the year? Ooh. And I say yes. It's coming. And it's not listed in the coming soon thing on Sideshow either. I can't wait. I can't wait. We're going to be talking about that on the upcoming show, the Aries Tarrington show, coming this week. And my guest again will be Dante from the Man of Hot Collectibles. You don't want to miss that. We're going to dive into this. We're going to dive into a lot of things. You're not going to want to miss that show. And I'll be live this coming Friday. It'll be my turn this Friday. You don't want to miss that. I'll have a full panel, the market show live this coming Friday. Book that on your calendars. Aries, where's Live and Raw? It's coming, baby. I'm making you, like Sean Spencer would say, wait for it. Wait for it. Look, there's a lot of heavy stuff coming out. You never know when Live and Raw is going to pop up. But I'll have the egg juice. I'll have the wizard juice. I'll have the spotchka. I'll certainly have the coffee. Hey, many of you keep asking me for shirts and stuff. Look, I don't got any of that stuff left. I have the mugs. You like this mug? Go to 6scalecantina.com if you're interested. Maybe you want it as a holiday gift for somebody. Just go there. And then when you scroll down, there'll be a link. You'll see the picture of the mug somewhere. There it is. Click on it. If it's something you're interested in, you may want to consider the mug. It's pretty cool. I like it. Comes in 2 different sizes. Is it possible, baby? You may want to consider becoming a Cantina insider as well if you enjoy the analysis here. If you want some heightened thoughts. If you want some crazy unboxings. If you want some conversations with the Hot Toys Wizard. Maybe you want to actually see the Hot Toys Wizard. You may want to consider becoming an insider. Let me go ahead and give you a short preview right now. Because it doesn't have the helmet on, and not the helmet, doesn't have the whole outfit on, really, I don't necessarily believe it's computing. And I think that some collectors are going to skip out on it for very good reasons. But at the end of the day, when a year passes, when 2 years pass, when 3 years pass, it's going to hit everybody that that's a Boba Fett version that you can't get. Will you see me again? You have to wonder. Oh my God. And is my midi-chlorian count right now climbing off the charts, baby? Let's dive into it right now. So you have to wonder, is it possible? Along with an exclusive panel member with me here today, got little Grogu right here. He's kind of in a trance right now, because every time I speak, he just kind of stops and listens. Anyway, I almost spilled another cup of coffee, baby. Let's dive into it right now. And I say yes. Wow. Wow, I'm pumped up, baby. I'm going to spill some coffee here. All right, listen. Last question. Is it possible that sometime in the future, no matter how distant it is, that Hot Toys will officially announce and shock us and awe us and make Dark Jedi Ares look so, you know, amazing? Are they going to officially announce Bail Organa? What say you, Wizard? Hot Toys Wizard, what's going on? Everyone's trying to talk about Bespin Luke. But we already know about that. But we already know. Okay, that's good. Yeah. But what about... He hung up on me. Some good times for sure. If any of that piques your interest, click on the little join button in my channel. See everything that the membership comes with. If you think it will benefit you, you may want to consider joining. Always a good time with my friend Dante for the Man of Hot Collectibles, as you saw in that preview. And he will be the special guest once again on the third Aries Tarrington show. And that's coming out here on the channel within a couple of days. You absolutely don't want to miss that, for sure. And I will be live this coming Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern with the Market Show Live. We'll have a full panel on the show, and maybe Ahsoka or other figures for Star Wars will be officially released by that time. And is it possible that maybe a surprise announcement could be coming this week? I sure do hope so. But I can tell you right now, there's going to be quite a few coming over the next couple of months. So as far as when is Aries going to be live and raw with just me and all of you, look, subscribe to me on Instagram and subscribe to me on Facebook. Join the social media. I got it in the video description. Because whenever there is an upcoming live show or a flash live stream, an impromptu one, I put it up on Instagram. I put it up on Facebook. And let me tell you something, brother. There's going to be a few coming up over here. Buckle up. Buckle up. I don't always buy coffee out. But when I do, I buy from 6 Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.